Let me see. Is anybody coming down the parking lot before I turn out? My shades are so dirty. I did not announce this live, very much so impromptu. Hopefully, my phone does not overheat. Hair's a little, but we're not gonna complain because I didn't even put no product on it. I sprayed water. No, I did. I sprayed water and a little bit of a texture in Tom's foam. So let me just get this air popping, girl. If you don't know, Trader Joe's, I need an endorsement, honey. I'm just a regular girl, but I stay going to y'all. So I drive about 25 minutes to get to the nearest Trader Joe's over in Fort Worth, Texas, to get these. And they come in a 4 pack for I think $2.99 or $3.99. I can't remember the exact price, but you know how most sparkling waters or sparkling juices they taste more like water with like a hint of flavor or like a watered down like soda. This here is very much so sparkling juice and very, very juicy. Very, very juicy, very flavorful, very fulfilling. So I ain't even gonna hold you. The can is about the size of a small Red Bull. And I love these. These are like a good alternative for me drinking like something that is fully saturated in like sugar and artificial flavors. So I'm glad somebody put me onto these and I have been hooked ever since. So every time I go to the store, I literally like buy the shelf. They have a couple of other flavors, but I always get the strawberry. Strawberry was the first one I tried, and I just been sticking with it. And I'm just one of them people. Hey, I don't know who that is, but I see one person here. So I am. I work my part time job today at Burlington. So I am about to go to another store and see if I can find this item. These kids in the road, they better get on the street. Get on the sidewalk. What are you doing? Crazy. I like P. Diddy. Your mama look like P. Diddy. Anyway, um, so yeah, I'm on my way to do some shopping because I'm on the hunt for something that I've been looking for quite a while. I'm gonna cross my fingers. Hopefully I get lucky. Um, What's some other people that really follow me is in here and I know who they are, I will sign moderators to get the weirdos out. You're ridiculous. You wanna know why you're ridiculous, babe? Because you're watching my live. The $600 shades. I don't care if you think they're ridiculous. I like them, and that's all that matters. Anyway, I gotta go on the other side of town to get to this. So there's a Marshalls that's closer to me, but I'm a little burnt out on her. So yeah. So I'm going to one that's a little bit further out on a more bougie side of town. I mean I stay by the stadium, so it's kind of bougie over here, but where I'm going is bougie. So hopefully the items are not all bought up over here. I have went over here and shopped a couple of times in the past and have been able to get lucky. And a lot of that stuff be marked down over here, so I don't know if it's a situation where I don't know. Maybe there are people over there don't buy a lot, so stuff tends to like sit there until it goes on sale, and then it gets marked down again and again and again. So yeah, I know. Like with our store, I think after the third markdown, like the 30-day markdown, because it gets marked down like every Sunday or every other Sunday. So if it gets marked down after the 30 day and it hasn't sold, like it gets taken out the store. So we'll see. But next thing I wanted to talk about was I know I had said I was gonna make a video about like my whole health situation and everything. So let's just touch on it just a quick second. So I am a veteran. I did serve in the United States military. I will not say which branch. Um, first 3 years I enjoyed. I enjoyed. I thought that it was a great experience for somebody straight out of high school. That you know, my story on how I got in the military is crazy. It was a simple dispute between a mom and a daughter about where I wanted to attend college. And once I got accepted, how I was told that I couldn't go there. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. Um, After about year 3, things started getting a little rocky. Um, I had always felt like the unit that I was in, that I was so desperately trying to get away from, was a bullshit ass unit. And I also felt like because they weren't letting me leave, baby, hurry up. What are you doing? Because they weren't letting me leave when I asked to PCS somewhere else, um, I just had to make do with what I had. But they were bringing like new leadership there, and like the last sergeant before I got off of active duty was a pain in the you know what. And he was lazy. He was like the laziest person I ever known. Like, bruh, it was just hard times with him. So I switched to the reserve. Again, I'm not saying which branch, but I did another six, 5.5 years because I extended a little bit from the 5th year. So that brought me up to 10. And then, oh wow, it's just a bunch of craziness going on out here in the streets today. Let me just make it to where I'm going to and back safe. But yeah, that was a mess. So yeah, the things that I'm going through as far as my health, I think some of that was caused by me being in the military, or definitely something that had to do with me being in the military, maybe like the after effects. Because I was a young, athletic teenager when I joined the military. I actually was a year younger than required. I graduated early, so my grandma had to sign the paper for me to be able to go. Um, it was a trick because I didn't tell my mom or my daddy that I had decided on my own to join the military after like the whole college conversation had blew up and crashed and burned. So nothing was wrong with me. I was a cheerleader. I was on the dance team. I was, very very athletic. I didn't have any injuries. But by the time I had completed my first 4 years on active duty, I was already with like knee pains of a 60-year old, back pains of a 60-year old, like spinal curvature. A lot of things that happened in 4 years and have continued to progress post military career, post active and reserve military career. So it has not been a fun experience. Um, the scare part comes in with potential non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Well, I'm still doing. I had a biopsy back in November. It's right here. But I was told that if I wanted to, because it came back inconclusive, that I would need a more in-depth biopsy, which means that they would have to like cut like this. There would be a nasty gash on me. Um, that's hard because I work, because the bills have to be paid because I do have a little person, and I would definitely have to take our time. I've been on my job for a couple years. So I do have temporary FMLA right now, but I would have to do like a leave of absence, um, and things like that. So I do have to get things like that lined up before I just go gung ho and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna do this or move forward or whatever the case is. So right now they're thinking it's either non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or lymphocytic B cell uh, leukemia. For the most part, I feel normal. I feel fine. I didn't even know anything of this magnitude was wrong with me until I had a cough. Like, this cough was crazy. Like, it didn't have any other symptoms. It was just a crazy ass cough. So I thought maybe like I had gotten bronchitis. Excuse me. I thought maybe I had gotten bronchitis or I don't know. I just was like, okay, after like 3 weeks, I was like, okay, no other symptoms. I need to figure out what the hell this is about. So I started at a ENT first. Um, that was a situation where he was like, "Oh, I think it's just allergies." No, no, no. Mind you, I have private insurance and going to an actual specialist because the ENT would be considered a specialist. That costs money. Like, it costs real money. It's not a cheap thing. So yeah, I have spent a considerable amount of money to go see a specialist versus like a regular PCP or something. So I did that. About 2 weeks after that visit, I started getting runny nose. So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is like post nasal drip or some craziness like that. I don't know. So runny nose, runny nose, runny nose. Finally runny nose stopped, but there's like a little bump in my nose, like a little bitty bump. I almost felt like it could have been a scab. But this is where I knew it was a bump because over the course of like probably 4 or 5 days. I don't even think it was a whole 7 days. That thing grew from like a little bitty bump to like covering my whole nostril. Like, I couldn't even, it was impacting and obstructing like my breathing in my right nostril. Like, and then it was starting to go downward, so it was like hanging out of my nostril, which was very, very scary. I immediately knew something was wrong because to where grown like that, that's scary. That's like definitely was scared. Definitely was like, all right, this is something a little bit more. So I went back to the was I have the growth or whatever it was at the time. I didn't know what it was called, but it was confirmed to be like a benign. Well, he said it was a benign polyp at the time. But after he removed it, it was like a simple little removal, and it was that. Like that's just what it was. Um, the injection of lidocaine or whatever they use for numbing, that hurt. Like I shed tears because they injected it right into the site of the growth, and it hurted. They cut it out with a scalpel and they burned it. I guess because it was like considered open because it was like in the inside of my nose. So I don't know if it was like because the cartilage is so thin, like that's the only thing they could do. But they literally like I didn't feel it because of the pain medication, but I definitely smelled it while they was burning my damn flesh with a torch. Like I was like, oh my god, like this is weird. So it took about 2 weeks for it to heal and everything, inside of my nose or whatever. And I thought that was it. I have went on living life, you know, feeling great. Really was feeling great prior to that. I was just worried about this damn cough. So, about 8 weeks. It was a long time. It was like 2 months, probably going on 3 months. It was a long time. Like I think for sure it was. I know for sure it had been like 2 months already. So I get a call. I automatically knew like it wasn't. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so forgive me. I automatically knew it like it wasn't favorable news because for one, it's been 8 weeks and you're calling back. And you're not calling me to ask me like how's everything going, blah blah blah, anything like that. Because the nurse had already did that like a couple weeks prior. So it, it was the doctor himself, which, if the doctor himself is calling, that doesn't always sound favorable. So he said, hey, it's Dr. Da-da-da with da-da-da-da office. And I said, yes, sir, how you doing? He's like, fine. I wanted to speak with you about the benign polyp that we had removed from your nose, from your inner right nostril. And I said, okay. He said, after I removed it and decided to take a closer look at it under the microscope, immediately I am freaking out. I'm like, doctor, like, what does this mean? What do you think? Like, da da da. He says, I want to refer you to a specialist. So as soon as he said that, I knew like, okay, go ahead and just lay it on me. Just let it go and let me know what it's supposed to be. So he said, yeah, the cells they looked alarming, and the reason why it took me so long to get back with you is because we had to send this sample to, I think he said 6 different labs, and he was like, finally, like nobody could come up with the answer, so it went to Mayo Clinic. So if anybody knows anything about Mayo Clinic, then like, yeah, you dealing with something serious. Mayo Clinic is like the the top of the food chain when it comes to like pathology and just a host of all kinds of things. It's like I don't even know how to. It could because if you're not in the medical field and you don't really follow up on things in health, then you wouldn't know about like much about the Mayo Clinic. But Mayo Clinic is kind of like the like I don't even know. It's just like way up there. It's like the CDC of pathology and a couple of other things that they do at Mayo Clinic and testing and things like that. So I was scared because I work in healthcare. So I was like, first of all, it took y'all 6 different labs across. I think he told me like the first lab that it went to was a lab like all the way in like I want to say he said Iowa somewhere, but I'm like, what? So he was like, yeah, I want to refer you to an oncologist. So all the bells and whistles had immediately went off. I was like, sir, do you think that this is cancer? And he was like, well, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. That's why I sent it out for testing. And because it has to go to so many places and they just can't really like give a real answer, like I want to make sure that you can, you know, try to. Now, how in the world did they get that car all the way up there like that and hit that pole? And still in the car with the caution tape on it. I'm crying. What is going on here? So yeah, anyway, so I started crying immediately. At the time my son was like maybe 3. So you know when you hear the C word in general, like it's enough to get you scared. But for me, I hadn't had anything prior like happen to me health wise or any of that. So I was very, very scared. I started crying immediately. Um, the doctor was like, it could be something, but then it could be nothing. And so he gave me the results. He gave me a copy of the results. He forwarded them to the oncologist that he referred me to. And basically, when I got home, I was just reading the results and the findings of the pathology tests from each lab. Um, one thing about it, all of them were saying inclusive, but the majority of them were mentioning that some of the cells did look like potential non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or something to that effect. So I immediately, like, I started seeing like around that time, like people talk about NHL and if you've been exposed to like pesticides and this and that, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, well, some of these places where we used to go to and do field problems, who knows if they have been treating that grass or whatever with some kind of pesticides and it could be anything like the gas, maybe my skin had like some kind of, maybe my body didn't take too well to like the exposure of gas or whatever. Because I have been to the gas chamber once in training, but because I was located at the home of the infantry, um, yeah, our unit was pretty high speed, which is a term that we use in the military for like, real mileage. Well, like I think the Marines say hoorah, but we say hooah, HOOAH. So yeah, when all that was going on, like I started thinking about all of that. And so I looked at my son at the time. My son was very small. I think he was like 3 or 4. And until that appointment came, I think I cried every day, every night. I just thought like, but I had my affairs in order, and that's one thing I will say: if you don't have your affairs in order, as far as like things to help your family when it comes time to like take care of you in the afterlife, like you need to do that. Some of you people on here that's leaving like stupid comments and stuff, I hope y'all got your stuff together because y'all seem like some of the people that don't. But anyway, that's a whole nother upward battle right there. But yeah, that and then it was just you didn't know what to expect. So I finally told my mom and my dad like maybe a few days prior to the appointment. And I just started crying and couldn't really talk. And I'm a daddy's girl, so he automatically was like, you know, I can come with you to the appointment. I hadn't even asked them at first. I just was telling them. And then, my mom, she said the same thing. She's like, hey, I'm willing to like take off work to go with you to the appointment. So, that was a thing. My parents accommodated me to the appointment. One on both sides to me. Yes. And a lot of people look, a lot of people don't have their stuff in order, and it ain't even a color thing. It's just people in general. And I know times it's hard, but if you can go to the liquor store and get you a bottle every weekend, or you can go inside somebody's bar, or you can go and get your hair done and your nails done every 2 weeks or whatever, you need to be able to handle that. Now, with inflation and stuff, I don't know how much life insurance and stuff like that has gone up, but it don't matter. It don't matter because you're spending the same money on something stupid when you can go and do something to make sure your kids and whoever you leaving behind to deal with your stuff can do that and still, have some kind of cushion to fall back on. Like, because especially if you got kids, and like I said, at the time when all of this first started happening with my health and the cancer scare and all that stuff, my son was 3. And I thank God for my health because he'll be 13 this year. Um, but yeah, like and to this day, I still got the same plan with the same company. But yeah, people have to think about stuff like that. Like, damn them nails and whatever else. Even if you don't have regular health insurance, get you some life insurance because I ain't even lie. Health insurance is just that we not even gonna get on that. Like, if you don't have a job that offer you some type of plan and you weren't able to take, I don't even know if like the Affordable Health Care Act is still around, aka Obamacare. I mean, I don't even know if that's still around with this crazy in office, but child, if that's still around, if you can, and I do know those are POS, piece of, because I work in pharmacy and those plans, they don't do a lot, but it's something. It's something. I do know that health insurance is a very, very, very expensive. Um, the actually it's crazy because the last job I worked at, um, the plans through the job seemed like they were more expensive than if I went and got a plan and paid out of pocket. So that's what I did before I got this job. And yeah, it takes a big chunk out of your money, your income. But it's things that we have to do. And at the time, I couldn't afford to not have a plan. I was always gonna get a plan for me and my son, but I feel like if I could have went without a plan for me, I would have went without a plan for me. Definitely had the life insurance though. But yeah, I just can't afford to be without health insurance, especially with all this stuff going on. But the good news is, after I got the biopsy, so I'm getting off track now. um, so that was a while back. Went to the oncologist. Both of my parents was there. The doctor was like, "Hey, I've been in practice for about 40 years." He was like, "I've never seen." He was like, "I'm gonna say this, but that doesn't mean that it's not your case." He said, I've been in practice for 40 years. I've never, ever, 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 ever seen a patient under the age of 60 that needed to be treated for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. At the time, I was like 20 something. Um, so I was like mid 20s or going into mid 20s, somewhere in there, like mid 20s. And he said, I just don't think that's what it is. He said, I have the all of the pathology tests from all of the testing sites where it was sent to. All he said, literally, this thing has been all over the United States. I said, I know. He said, yeah. He said, but the EMT that you chose is a very good guy. I've been knowing him for at least 25 years. And, I saw the results and I just don't think that's what it is, but we'll get started. So he said, um, the first thing I need you to do to, get started with all of this is to get a PET scan. And I forgot like the scientific name, but PET scan. And he told me, what to expect, really what it is, and you know, at the time, like the thing hadn't grown back because the doctor was like, if it grow back, then it's something. If it doesn't grow back, then it may not be nothing. It never grew back. So with the insurance, I had not met my deductible, which at the time was like 2,100, I think. And for some reason, the PET scan was trying to. I guess I was gonna have to cover the whole PET scan, which was like $2,600. And at the time, I ain't even gonna lie, like I just didn't have the money because I had also had a new car. This truck, I had just got this truck maybe like a couple months before like I went to the ENT. So I'm just like, oh my god, like so my dad was like, I'll help you come up with the money, but I ain't gonna lie, I was young and I just was going off of like the talking points of the EMT. So I was like, this thing, like the site been healed. It's not bothering me. I still feel fine. The growth is not coming back, right? But it's better to have than not need. Yes, ma'am. I agree with that, Miss Lane. But yeah, I was like, at the time when you young, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I was in this invincible era. So I didn't get it done. My dad was like, "You need to get it done, even if it's nothing. Get it done, get it done, get it done." Financially, I was helping my mom already, so I knew like she wasn't gonna be able to help me, you know, monetarily. So I didn't even think about talking to her about it. But she did ask like, "What's the next steps and things like that." So I just over time, like me and my dad, we must have got into it, like me being rebellious about the whole thing, not wanting to do it, and all of this. I never got it. This thing still hasn't grown back in my nostril to this day. But fast forward up until 2024, last year. Um, Remember I told you I had the cough at the beginning of the live. Had the cough. Cough was around for about 3, 4 weeks to a month. Like it was like a month. And no other symptoms, just barking. Like the old people say, just barking. No other symptoms, no nothing. No pain in the neck when I cough or nothing. So I'm like, damn, it went a long time with this cough. And like I said, I thought it was like bronchitis or something like that. So I said, well, shit, maybe I need to go and try to see somebody. So I did, and you know, he just said like I think it's probably allergies. It's like it might be winter allergies. So I was like, okay, cool. So we did that, and then maybe like another. I'm trying to think, like 2 weeks. It was like getting ready to be like cold, and we did the biopsy. Biopsy was inconclusive again. Yeah, no, no, no. I went to the VA hospital. I'm getting it's so much stuff that's been happening, and I probably should have been, informing y'all this stuff when I said I was. That way I could keep on track. But I told you from the army, I had a spinal curvature, so I went to check on it. Like I went to the VA during my PCP appointment over there because I have a private PCP, and then I have a PCP like my annual exam and all that stuff. So I asked them, should they do X-rays on the curvature just to check on it or whatever? Because I have been doing physical therapy to see if they could you know just fix it with physical therapy and or at least improve it. And that's when they told me I had like a big old growth. But as you can see, like just looking at me, like I don't see anything. Like I can, like if I'm just touching my neck, like I can feel like jelly right here, versus like the skin over here doesn't feel as like jelly like, but this skin over here feels jelly like. But I didn't think anything about it because at the same time I done gained a couple pounds. So I'm like, okay, girl, you got a little fat or whatever. So I just didn't think much about it. But he was like, yeah, we got to get that looked at. The x-ray tech. He was like, I'm going to forward this back to your PCP. And, you know, yeah, they're going to have to figure out. So that's how I got to the biopsy. So as I'm thinking, I'm like, ear, nose, throat. All of this is connected. So I'm like, could anything that was up here back in the day be affecting like my lymph node or thyroid or whatever it is? Like, I wonder. But I didn't say anything. So they said they wanted to do a biopsy. Because the pictures that they showed me in the x-ray inside of my neck, this thing is huge. Because the EMT with the VA was asking, like, are you sure you can swallow? Are you sure it doesn't hurt? Like, when you eat and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm fine. Like, he's like, I cannot believe it. So, and I couldn't believe it either after they showed me the x-ray. But, that was crazy. So, yeah, so far, like, as you know, everything with the VA is spread out because they see thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people per week. So the appointments are like stressed out quite a bit. Which health wise, if I was in like a dire situation where I'm also feeling the effects of this on the outside of my body, yeah, I definitely would not be working with the VA in regards to something like this. But I have been, and we're in the process of, you know, seeing what's what and getting my health on track to where I feel like it should be. Um, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot. I do have an appointment coming up on, I think, the night, whatever this coming Friday is. Because today is Sunday the 4th. So whatever Friday is, I think it's the 5th. That's when I have the appointment. So we'll see what's what and what they choose to do going forward. Um, I plan because it's not easy to get on here and talk to a bunch of strangers in that sense about your health. Um, but if anybody takes anything from it, I just hope that they take away. You have to listen to your body for sure. Definitely take care of your body because you only get one. Um, anything, go see a doctor. Like, advocate for yourself because I know I see a lot of times, and I've just been blessed that the team of doctors and everyone that I've come in contact with on this journey have taken care of me very well and treated me as if my concerns do matter. So I can't really complain about that. Um, Most people I know, they say like, the doctor gave me a hard time and not listening to my concerns. If they don't, you find you another doctor that will, because now is not the time. It's never the time to play around with your health, but especially now, like I'm paying too much money and you playing with me about my health. Take care of me. That's what you're getting paid to do. I'm not gonna hold y'all. We finna move into the store real quick just to kind of see what they got at Ross. Um, let's just go. Let's see. Super good. Super good. I promise. I will not steer you in the wrong direction with that one. Now, my palate is a little bit different when it comes to like solid foods, but as far as the drinks, I wouldn't say. Oh, still wearing this beauty and keys or whatever. I was supposed to throw this in the trash. Oh, it's the trash can right there. So we about to go in. My phone, how do you say it? We about to go in. Child, how do you turn the screen on? My bag over there. Uh, Ross first. Again. Is anybody still in here? This child, let's see. And I gotta be back to work soon. Let me just. I wish I could see what I got on. I think I have to get serious about working out for real. Hey, ooh, we didn't even do a quick walk through. And when the hell is Mother's Day? Because I don't even know. Let's see. I'm like cramping so bad. And I just know one thing. This mama's did not come on. I'm not gonna be in here too long. Because I like Marshall a little bit better. Let me see. Every time I come in Ross, the girlies be saying they be finding good stuff in Ross as well as the purses. I never find anything good in here. Oh, that's cute. Um, no, I don't see anything in here, guys. Not at all. Not at all. So this is quick. Let me just run in the back and see what they got. I done been out here almost for an hour. I'm so not good with them stories, like stories that require like a bunch of chronological order. So y'all bear with me with my storytelling. Cause it's all real, but it's just so much that, and it's been so hard that I just can't remember everything. I'm sorry, especially not in order. Let me see. What do they have on wall decor? Nothing. Nothing. I'm gonna lose this, y'all. We working on that. We working on it for sure. Nothing. You know I'm a straw girl, but I already have those silicone straws. So, oh, that baking sheet by Paris looking cute. Y'all let me know. Have y'all used any of her items? Her cookware, her nightstand, because a lot of girlies be finding them. I've been seeing a lot of people sell them online, like on Marketplace, but I never asked if anybody like it. Like, does it cut well? Does it? I think a lot of people get it because it's aesthetically pleasing. Um, Ross just doesn't do it for me, so we about to slide over here to what's the place called? Marshall, and see what they got going on. I'm gonna put this on the back of it, and then we get on out of here. It's the fastest walk around, and I'm not pleased. Ross don't never do it for me. All right, we walking, walking. I think when I get down here to Marshall, that's gonna be it. Cause I don't burn my whole battery out. Girl, child, my battery was about 100, and now this thing is on 48. I can't really tell from the sun, but 48. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. Uh, so yeah. I'm tired the Jackson because I drove all the way over here. I better get something good. No shade. I hope I get a basket that roll good. Let's see, girlie. Ooh, going straight to the purse section. Let's see. Let's see. I be wanting me a long maxi dress, but then I always have to remember that I am 5'1", and this is gonna be too long. This is cute. This one is cute. Ooh. Oh, they even got a powder, like a green one. This is, I don't know about that one. Mm, this one is cute. Juicy girlies. So far, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. So far, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Mm, 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 mm. These people gonna peek through this stuff for Mother's Day. Oh, this one is cute. This one is the juicy, sweet and juicy weekender. Um, yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all. I'm not happy. Not happy. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't see nothing. Excuse me. Um, let me see. With the pillows, I want to try to redo. I need to do that room. Y'all be, y'all be on me about my room, girl. I don't like that. I need something like this for a bathroom, though. It's super cute. No, they don't have the one. I want that one with the ribbons on there. How much are these things? Because with that curvature, sometimes I be laying in the bed and I'll be like, I need one of those. I'm gonna check my store. But out the particular location that I work in, they don't be having nothing. See, it's one of those back pillows, but it has like the ribbons like this on there. And it's like pink and purple and red, I believe. So yeah. All right. I be going through these stores so fast because I just don't be seeing nothing that I need or want. So we're gonna try another live another day when I'm not rushing. So I can actually just like, how much is this thing in here? See, the other store they was already at like 29.99. They be trying to get up on people with this stuff. All right, y'all. Let's see. I like the shirt. The shirt says emotional support human, not a pet. Do not touch. I like that. Okay, we going in one more store. I'm gonna walk down here to Target and grab something. Now I know for sure I gotta get something out of Target real quick just because, yeah, really, really quick. Let me walk down here. I think this live only lets us go for like an hour. So I don't know if it's gonna cut me off, but I will say thank y'all for tuning in to my very first Facebook Live. Um, Hopefully, we'll get to engage even more in the future. Um, I don't want this to cut me off because I don't know if I said an hour since this is my first one. So y'all have a blessed, blessed Sunday. And always take care of you and your family. And I love y'all. See y'all next time.